I'm your host, Peg Young. Well, already February of 2004 is almost half over, and time does seem to fly. I'm sure you'll agree. Today we have a very exciting game ahead because the Garu team is going for their 7th win in a row. So let's see what happens today. Let's welcome today's contenders onto our stage. Great to have you guys here. We have the Southern team from the U.S., Robert Westrick and Kelly Calcore. Welcome, and tell us a bit about yourselves.
Well, we're both from the American South. Kelly is from Texas and I'm from Florida. And we're getting married in Guam in March.
Wow, congratulations. And have you been to Guam before often?
We've been there 2 or 3 times.
Exactly.
So are you just going to honeymoon there as well?
A few days, and then we're off to Bali and then Australia.
Ah, how romantic.
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, good luck to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you do well.
Thank you.
Going against the Southern team, we have the Arayns team from India, Rajesh and Jolly James. Welcome, and why Arayns?
Arayns came to India soon after the Indus Valley civilization, and they settled over there. It's a bit of trivia, and I like history, even though I'm an engineer.
All right, well, thank you for that bit. Good luck to Arayns team and Southern team. Let's get to our game. Now, in our first section, we give you 10 multiple choice questions worth 10 points each. You can use chance once if you're not sure about a certain question. We'll take away 2 of the incorrect choices and make things easier on you. If you get all 10 questions correct, we give you 50 bonus points. Hopefully, you'll win those points today. Southern team, you have the first choice, Q, U, I, or Z sets.
Q.
All right, we will go with questions at Q, number 1. Of the following, which country covers an entire continent? 1, China, 2, Australia, 3, Russia, 4, Brazil.
Number 2, Australia.
Where you said that you would spend part of your honeymoon.
Exactly.
It sounds like you want to go many places on your honeymoon. How long is your honeymoon going to be?
Good. Month.
Ah, wonderful. How romantic. A month. All right, well, let's go to question 2. Of the following, who is credited with the invention of the light bulb? 1, Alfred Nobel, 2, Alexander Graham Bell, 3, Thomas Edison, and 4, Henry Ford.
Number 3, Edison.
Moving on. Question number 3. Of the following, who is the captain of the ship in Moby Dick? 1, Ahab, 2, Nemo, 3, Long John Silver, 4, Hook.
Number 1, Ahab.
Question number 4. Of the following, the farm team is another name for which league? 1, minor league, 2, semi-pro league, 3, major league, 4, amateur league.
Number 1, the minor league.
And moving on to question 5. Of the following, which is an early Babylonian legal code? 1, Salic law, 2, Hammurabi's code, 3, Jus Gentium, 4, Code Napoleon.
Number 2, Hammurabi's code.
You have yet to use chance, and we're at question number 6. Of the following, who was not a summit when the Berlin Wall came down? 1, Erich Honecker, 2, George Bush, 3, François Mitterrand, and 4, Boris Yeltsin. If you're not sure, you can use chance.
Number 1, Erich Honecker.
Served you to use the chance. Boris Yeltsin is the answer we're going for, but you have 50 points on the board. And now, Arayns team, it is your turn, and you have a choice, U, I, or Z sets. Which would you like?
You.
All right, we will go with question set U, number 1. Of the following, which is a different kind of transportation? 1, tube, 2, subway, 3, taxi, 4, metro.
Number 1, Q.
Well, you know, being under the lights and with people around, it happens. Arayns, we were looking for taxi. That is the different mode of transportation. The tube is the word that the Brits use to describe their subways. But we have a lot of the quiz ahead, so don't lose heart. Southern, you are in the lead with 50 points. And now we get to see how well you guys work together as a team. In this password section, we give you 20 words in a chosen category, and you have 100 seconds to go through the entire list. Southern, if you're ready, please take your position next to me. And you have chosen a very timely subject, the season of spring. What is the reason you chose to get married in spring?
It just worked out with everyone. Everyone's a teacher, spring breaks, it just works out.
All right, well, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Go.
It's not cold, it's not hot, it's
Warm.
It's something you do outside when you eat in a park with a
Picnic.
checkered. It's not Christmas, it's not
4th of July.
It's not 4th of July.
Thanksgiving. Summer.
Jesus died.
Easter.
During the March, many teachers take this.
Break. A holiday.
It's with the flower. Oh, February 2nd in Pennsylvania.
Groundhog Day.
Oscars. They win this awards.
Academy Award.
It's about celebrating a tree.
Christmas. Yuletide.
Pass. It's a color not purple, light purple.
Lavender.
No, it starts with the letter V.
Violet.
It's something you do every season to clean.
Spring cleaning.
Yes. I have no idea. It goes up and down in the spring, and it turns from a caterpillar to a
Butterfly.
Pass, please. Pass, please. Have no idea. Pass, please. It's a beautiful. You smell it. It's a flower. It's yellow, and it goes big.
Tulip.
Many animals come to certain times of the year to
Spring
mate
feeding,
and come together.
Spring
Starts
fever.
with the letter M. Pass, please. Oh, it's during it's the Jewish holiday.
You didn't quite get to Passover, which was the Jewish holiday that you were going for. The thing with the birds was migration, starting with M. And equinox is March 21st, and Arbor Day is the day that we plant trees. You end the section with 150 points. Good job.
Thank you.
Now, Arayns team, it's your turn. And you chose volcanoes and earthquakes.
Yes.
Now, are there volcanoes and earthquakes in India?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Have you been through many of them?
It's only one.
Really?
Yes.
An earthquake?
A volcano.
Oh,
a volcano. And earthquakes are pretty few.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you lived through a volcano?
No, I've seen a volcano.
Oh, from far away. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
Lava. M word.
Magma.
A word. 3 letters. When you burn.
Ash.
Yes. Earthquake measuring instrument. R word.
Richter scale.
Yes. Then what we have food in? P
Plate.
word. Yes. Then city covered by eruption of Mount Vesuvius. P.
Pompeii.
Yes. Then when you boil water, this comes out.
Water vapor.
S word.
Steam.
Yes. Then Japan. K earthquake.
Kyoto.
No. 4
Kobe.
letters. Yes. This is something that goes like this, and it is a letter of the alphabet, just coming before T. After
Seismic.
no, it's just a one letter. One letter. What is this?
C.
No.
Wave.
Yes. There are 2 words in it. The first it is
Rally
this.
wave.
No, it is
Seismic wave.
The first letter.
S.
Yes.
S wave.
Yes. Then comes between core, crust and core. M word.
Mantle.
Yes. Then the games that are going to happen this July, there are 2 words in it. The first one is O. It is going to happen in this July.
Olympus.
Yes. And the second word is starts with M.
Mons.
Yes.
Olympus Mons.
Yes. Then this pass. Then the problem. F word.
Fault.
Yes. Then
Arayns, you did a magnificent job of going through that very tough list, and you've done a lot to catch up. You have 110 points on the board after this. However, Southern does still have the lead with 150 points. And now we'll see what happens with our next section. This will tell who will get to go against the Garu's team's 7th win attempt. Let's welcome Mr. David Hwang onto our stage.
Hi, Erin, how are you? I want to welcome you guys to our show. Hope you guys have a great time here. Best of luck. If you guys are ready, I'll give you the rules to the next section. All right, the next section is a round of non-multiple choice questions. The first team to buzz in will get the first chance to answer. Now, if you guys happen to mess up, that chance will be given to the other team. Now, you guys are lucky here because if both of you guys mess up, we're going to give you another chance with the help of a spelling hint. There's 15 questions in all, 30 points per question, and 5 seconds to answer each one. Okay?
All right, so let's have question 1.
All right, question 1 is about dance. In an unusual spectacle at the Vatican, Pope John Paul II presided over a performance of these dancers. For this creative hard work, I bless you from my heart, he said. This is a highly energetic, fast, and aerobic.
Southern.
Break dancing.
And Southern team, are you guys big break dancers?
No.
No,
never
but
went
I
through
have
that
to do it
phase?
with my students to get them to listen in class.
Oh, can we have a bit now?
No, that's okay.
All right, let's move on to question 2.
All right, question number 2. There's my breakdance. It's about organization. This organization has granted rare permission for a film, The Interpreter, starring Nicole Kidman and Sean Penn, to be made at its headquarters. It receives requests to be used as a location, but so far, Hollywood has failed to get inside. Formed in 1945, the organization's
Arayns.
CIA.
Southern, it is your chance to answer. He'll finish the question.
Formed in 1945, the organization's headquarters are in New York. What is this?
Southern, 5 seconds.
The United Nations?
Southern.
The United Nations?
We would have taken the UN as well. And Southern, I want to remind you, only share your answers with us after you've buzzed in. Let's move to question 3.
All right, question number 3 is about survey. This person is at the head of the prize list of the 50 preferred French of the French. He is considered by many to be the best soccer player in the world. He led France to the World Cup in 1998.
Arayns.
Zinedine Zidane.
Are you a big fan of Zidane?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Indian soccer player? Is soccer big in India?
Yeah. Not that big, but I
Cricket
do
is,
have a
right?
favorite player. Though. It's called Baichung Bhutia. So it's Baichung Bhutia.
Ah. Are you a good player as well?
No, I just watch it.
All right. It's good to see you on the board, Arayns team. Let's move on to our next question.
All right, question number 4 is about title. The first showing of Gurinder Chadha's Bride and Prejudice has been penciled in as one of the big attractions for the launch of the new UK Film Showcase in London this summer. The title is a variation on the famous novel by Jane Austen. What is the original title?
Southern.
Pride and Prejudice.
Going to 5.
Moving on, number 5 is about astronomy. On February 18, 1930, this planet was discovered, proving predictions by Percival Lowell to be correct. It is far away from Earth, and no spacecraft has been yet sent to the planet. All the information.
Arayns.
Pluto.
And since each question is worth so many points, Arayns, you're doing a fairly good job of catching up, 170 versus Southern's lead of 240 points. Let's see what happens with our next question.
All right, our next question, number 6, is about animal. It took some convincing before police would respond to the reports of this animal on a southern Sweden road in the middle of a snowstorm. The owner said that the 22-year-old Imad, commonly known as a desert animal, might have wandered off because of the absence of his usual companion, a horse. What is this animal?
Very unusual, desert animal. Why don't we take a look at the hint? Southern.
Camel?
That strikes up a very striking image, doesn't it? A camel on a snowy road,
In
looking
Sweden.
looking for its partner, the horse. And let's move on to question 7 now.
Question 7 is about company. Long a model for internet companies that put market share ahead of profits and that make acquisitions funded by meteoric market capitalization, this company is now focusing on profits, recording a net income of $35.3 million last year. The company started out as an internet bookstore.
Southern.
Amazon.com?
Southern, you're increasing your lead, and let's move on to question 8.
Question 8 is about person. This person has curtailed a visit to his hometown, Mumbai in India, after Muslim protesters threatened to blacken his face. 15 years after the satanic verses.
Arayns.
Salman Rushdie.
Arayns moving up 200 versus Southern's 300. Let's move to question 9.
It's a close game. Question 9 is about computer. Figures from mail filtering firm Message Lab show that the number of copies of this virus being caught every day are swiftly diminishing. The peak day of infection was January 28th.
Southern.
My Doom?
And did you suffer any damage due to My Doom at all?
Luckily, no.
Good for you. And moving on to question 10.
Question 10 is about country. This country's musicians invited to attend the Grammy Awards have been denied U.S. visas.
Southern.
Cuba?
And moving on to 11 now.
Question number 11 is about invention. On February 16, 1930, this is developed by the DuPont labs primarily from the research of American chemist Wallace Hume Carruthers. This is used in the manufacture of fabrics for
Southern.
Nylon?
An invention that many women, I'm sure, celebrate and loathe, right? Are you a big fan of nylons?
I don't know, are you?
Let's move on to question 12 now.
All right, question 12 is about investment. Excuse me. They once were the heroes of the shareholder society, but today only a few have survived the stock market downturn in the US. This is a private investor who purchases and subsequently sells securities on the same day.
Southern.
Day traders?
And question 13 now.
Question 13 is about environment. For most of its history, this existed as a precious and rare commodity. Now it covers the planet. In modern times, we hardly notice most of this drifting through our lives. Today, 93% of this comes from trees, and the production is responsible for about a fifth of the total wood harvest worldwide. What is this?
What is this that we're looking for? Let's look at the hint. Arayns.
Paper.
Question 14, please.
Question 14 is about health. Medical use of this should be carried out sparingly, according to scientists. This is of enormous benefit for such things as early cancer detection, but medical experts need to be aware of the quantifiable risks of it. This is a high-energy electromagnetic radiation.
Arayns.
Chemotherapy.
Laser.
Southern, it is your chance to answer, and he'll finish the question.
This is a high-energy electromagnetic radiation. What is this?
Southern, 5 seconds. Southern,
MRI?
why don't we take a look at the hint? We've mentioned this before. Arayns.
X-ray.
And we've come to our last question for the section.
Okay, our last question, number 15, is about city. This city may no longer be a pedestrian's paradise. It has designated some narrow streets one-way alleys and plans to fine those who walk against the flow. The city gathers more than 100,000 people during the carnival season. This is a canal city in northeastern Italy. What is this?
Arayns.
Venice.
Arayns?
Venice. Venice.
Yes. And whereas that is a strong and Southern, you win and get to go to the finals to face the Garu team. Arayns, it was very good to have you on our show. What do you want to say to your supporters?
I would like to thank my bosses, especially and Mr. Kim and Mr. An. And I'd like to thank my friends, Caesar and Aribu, for their support.
And?
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for hosting us in the show. I really enjoyed being here today.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And Southern team, you will be facing the Garu team, so we'll be having 2 couples on our final section today. How do you feel?
A little scared. They're
Nervous.
good.
Well, we'll see the exciting game right after this. Let's welcome back the Garu team. It's good to have you guys back, Peter and Erin Garnhum. This is your attempt at win number 7 in a row. Took you guys a while to get here. How do you feel?
Still feeling a little nervous, but hopefully.
Maybe 7 is lucky, though.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck to you. And good luck to you, Southern team, as well. Let's start our game. This is our final round. We give you 5 categories of questions, 5 questions each, worth 10 to 50 points. And if you get the first question correct, you get to choose the second. And what are today's categories?
All right, today's categories are Wings, George Who, Political Home, Blood Test, and Latin Culture.
And I get to choose the first question. I will go with Wings, 10 points. At the end of July 1971, this person asks Denny Lane to join his new band. Secret rehearsals and recordings are carried out. It leads to the first formation of the Wings. In forming Wings, this person has always Garu.
Paul McCartney?
And his former wife, who passed away, Linda, was also part of the Wings. Were you a fan of the Wings?
A little before our time, I think.
I like
yeah.
Band on the Run, though. It's a good song.
And Southern, you have to buzz in quickly if you're going to go against the Garu team. They're
We know.
more used to the buzz. Yes. And Garu, you get to choose.
Oh, how about Wings for 20?
Right, Wings for 20 points. Soaring birds such as the eagle and the pelican have long and broad wings. However, even birds that cannot fly need wings. The wings of aquatic birds such as the penguin and the puffin are flipper-like for underwater swimming. This bird's vestigial wings are used for balance in running. Southern.
The ostrich?
And it actually it can run pretty quickly, something like 70 miles per hour. So it's really fast. And Southern, it's good to see you on the board. You have the lead actually with 20 points versus Garu's 10. And you get to choose.
We'll stick with wings for 30.
All right, wings, 30 points. In Fim Vendor's Wings of Desire, invisible to humans, angels listen to the tortured thoughts of mortals and try to comfort them. They don't have wings. They wear black trench coats and assemble in a library. The film centers around the story of two angels wandering this post-war city. This city, Garu.
Berlin?
And it's a divided city at the end of the Cold War that you see. That is the Berlin that we see in that film. And are you a big fan of Fim Vendors?
I've never seen the original movie, but I did see the remake with Nicolas Cage. So,
Oh, and Meg Ryan.
Yeah, yeah.
City of Angels, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Do you have a favorite scene?
I guess, well, I don't want to ruin it if anyone hasn't seen it, but the scene
Oh,
where she
she's so
dies, you know, that's really sad. She gets hit by the truck. And
Yeah,
that's
as
really
she
upsetting.
flies down without hands on the
Yeah,
handlebars.
yeah. You could see it coming, but
I know.
really bad.
You get to choose.
Okay, let's stick with wings for 40, please.
All right, wings for 40 points. How can an airplane fly? The special shape of the wing is designed so that air flowing over it will have to travel a greater distance faster. An airplane flies because its wings create this. Garu.
Lift.
And in aerospace, lift is just one of 4 primary forces acting upon an airplane. The others happen to be weight, thrust, and drag. And lift, of course, is directed perpendicular at a right angle to the flight direction. And Southern, I encourage you to buzz in quickly. And Garu, you get to choose.
Okay, wings for 50.
Closing the category of wings, 50 points. This is an asteroid whose orbit is within 30 million kilometers of the Sun, closer than any other orbiting object. In Greek mythology, Daedalus built the Minotaur's labyrinth at the order of King Minos. When the king refused to let him leave Crete, he built wings of wax and feathers. Southern.
Icarus?
Icarus, he fell to his death when he flew too close to the sun and melted the wax that was holding the wings. And Southern, you've caught up quite a bit with that last question, 70 versus Garu's lead of 80, and you get to choose.
We'll go with political home for 50.
Political home for 50 points. A big political controversy surrounds this because since 1978, 14 Class A war criminals are among Garu.
The Yakuzuni Shrine.
What is the final answer?
The Yakuzuni Shrine.
In Japan?
And Southern, it is your chance to answer. I'll finish the question. 14 Class A war criminals are among the 2.5 million people enshrined at it. Especially for Asian countries, this has become a symbol for Japanese militarism and ultra-nationalism. As soon as Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi visited this Shinto shrine on New Year's Day, China announced that the Chinese people will never accept this faithless act. What is this, Southern? 5 seconds. Southern.
The Yasukuni Shrine?
Yes, it is the Yasukuni. It was just a matter of pronunciation. And Southern, you are increasing your lead, 120 versus Garu's 80 points. And Southern, you get to choose.
Let's go with political home for 40.
Political home for 40 points. July 14th, 1789 marked a turning point. Attempts at reform had become a full-scale revolution. Faced with this insurrection, the monarchy backed down. An angry mob, tired of the oppressive brutality of the French monarchy, captured this. Garu.
The Bastille.
Yes. They had believed that it would contain munitions and many prisoners of despotism, but in fact, the prison housed only 7 inmates at the time, and it's the large fortress on the eastern edge of Paris. And the Bastille Day, the national holiday in France, is celebrated annually. And with that, Garu, you have even the score at 120 points, and you get to choose.
Let's try, I don't know, George Who for 50.
George Who for 50 points.
What did George Washington, the first president of the U.S., have in common with George VI, the King of Britain and Northern Ireland? They all belong to this fraternal organization. Members are known particularly for its charitable work and for its secret rites.
Garu.
The Freemasons.
The largest and oldest secret society in the world is called Freemasonry, and he is part of it. And Garu, you've got the lead again, 170 versus Southern's 120. It's a very close game. You get to choose.
George Hu for 40, please.
George Hu for 40 points.
It's a scary game, big hitting game. 40 points. The George Cross is a British medal awarded especially to civilians for gallantry. During World War II, this country was subjected.
Garu.
Malta.
Yes. It's an independent republic in the Commonwealth of Nations located in the Mediterranean Sea south of Sicily, and the island was in ancient times called Melita. Have you ever visited Malta?
No,
Never, but a friend of mine's parents went there for their honeymoon,
Ah.
and they were in love with it. They thought it was really nice.
Well, if you do win 7 and you get to go to Europe, would you visit?
Gosh,
be worth a try.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds great.
Knock on
And
wood.
actually, would you be interested in it as well?
We'll take the European trip, sure.
And Garu, you get to choose.
Okay.
George Hu for 30.
Yeah.
George Hu for 30 points.
It's true. This George has 5 daughters and 5 sons and has named all of the sons.
Southern.
George Foreman.
All of his sons are named George. So they're George Jr., George III, George IV, George V, George VI. And I wonder, so at home, do they just go by the number?
Maybe.
I can't imagine. I mean, the mother would call out George and 6 men would answer. Or 6,
You know,
5
I
boys
think
and
they
1
do probably go by the number because in my family there's 5 boys. We all have different names, but we still call each other by number sometimes.
Yeah.
At least I do. Number 3, number 4, where are you? So I wouldn't be surprised if they go by number in the George household.
And Southern, you get to choose.
We'll go with political home for 30.
Political home for 30 points. In the movie Love Actually, Hugh Grant plays the newly elected British Prime Minister. He walks into his office on his first day on the job. Staff support him and ensure he can carry out his wide range of functions, from international diplomacy to policy making. Unlike in the film, the real door to number 10, this street, Garu.
No, it's red.
10 Downing Street.
Is it? It's red.
Final answer?
Red.
Garu, you are increasing your lead to 40 versus Southern's 150, and you get to choose.
Political home for 20, please.
Political home for 20 points. This was founded in the 12th century as a fortress within the city. Today, it comprises important government buildings, palaces, and cathedrals within massive fortified walls dating from the 15th century and nearly 2.5 kilometers in circumference. It was often used as a synonym for that government. This is a Moscow landmark that has played a central part, Garu.
The Kremlin.
And it is now the seat of government in Russia. And Southern, I encourage you to buzz in. And Garu, you get to choose.
Political home for 10.
Closing the category, political home for 10 points. It is no accident that Norman Rockwell chose the image of the man as the character in his famous painting of one man speaking out at town meeting. It was Abraham Lincoln who set out the reasons for the Civil War and defined who Americans are as a nation by stating, quote, that government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from this earth, end quote. The speech was delivered on November 19th, 1863, Southern.
The Gettysburg Address?
Yes. And Southern, it is great to see you on the board. You have 160 points against Garu's 260, and you get to choose.
Okay, we'll go with blood test for 50.
Blood test for 50 points.
The transmission of this has been found in several royal families.
Southern.
Hemophilia?
The family of Queen Victoria of England and the family of Alfonso VIII of Spain are afflicted with hemophilia, and it's a genetic disease in which the clotting ability of the blood is impaired and excessive bleeding results. Rasputin's power over the Tsarina also was due to the fact that he could stop this hemophiliac bleeding in the grandson. And Southern, it's good to see you on the board with 210 points versus Garu's 260, and you get to choose.
We'll go with Latin culture for 50.
Latin culture for 50 points.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lee Bok Kyung, and I'm a retired ambassador. I've spent a good many years in Central and South America, or better known as Latin America, and I'm the founder director of Latin American Cultural Center. Today, we are going to see how much you know about Latin America, a region that occupies about 15% of world population, and the countries that are rich in natural resources and cultural heritages gives a great opportunity to expand our trade and investment between Korea and Latin America. Perhaps the most notorious form of governing in the civil society. In Latin America, this new experimentation of politics, governing on the basis of popular mass and discarding the elite. And Juan Domingo Perón in Argentina in 1940s made a very big success, particularly with the help of his wife, Eva Perón. Today, we see in Venezuela, in the presidency of Hugo Chavez. And this is, as I've said before, a politics with a direct mass support and discarding the particular privileges of the elite. What is the form of this politics which made Latin America famous?
Garu.
Populism?
That's right. It is the political ideology that holds that the common person is oppressed by an elite in society, and the word formed from Latin meaning people. So populism is what we are going for. And Garu, you're 310 versus Southern's 210, and you get to choose.
Let's go back to George Hu, actually, for 20.
George Hu for 20 points.
This George was born in India and was educated in England. In poor health and striving to become a writer, he lived for several years in poverty, in first Paris and then in London. George Blank is the pseudonym of Eric Arthur Blair, whose brilliant reporting and political conscience fashioned an impassioned picture of his life and times. He coined the phrase Big Brother in 1984.
Garu.
George Orwell.
And Big Brother, that book was about the authoritarian government. Are you a big fan of Orwell's?
Well, I haven't
I
read
read
any of them.
1984 and Animal Farm. Is that by him as
That's
well?
right.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. Long time ago, though.
Well, we almost feel like Big Brother's watching us now, right? I think nowadays technology allows for a lot more surveillance than we think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
And
sure.
Garu, you get to choose.
Okay, George Hu for 10.
Closing the category, George Hu for 10 points.
Avoiding competition with his father, who is a TV newscaster, this George quit his job as broadcast journalist after a short time. Failed to join the Cincinnati Reds baseball team, he came to acting when his cousin got him a small part in a feature film. This year, his character, Daniel Ocean, finds one...
Southern.
George Clooney.
Yes. In the sequel to Ocean's 11, they find another man to help so that they can pull off 3 major heists in London, and it's called Ocean's 12. Obviously, one more person. And Southern, you get to choose.
We'll take a blood test for 40.
Blood test, 40
40.
points.
This was discovered by K. Landsteiner and A.S. Weiner when they observed that an injection of blood from a rhesus monkey into rabbits caused an antigenic reaction in the serum component.
Southern.
The RH factor.
Yes. And this is a group of antibody-producing substances present in most people's red blood cells, and it's referred to as negative and positive. And if you actually have different RH factors in mothers and fetuses, they can have problems because they fight each other while the baby's in the womb. And now you, Southern, you get to choose.
Latin culture for 40.
Latin culture, 40 points.
one of the three most important civilizations in the Western Hemisphere, Latin America. In 1842, John Lloyd Stephens introduced to the world in his exploration called the Lost Cities of Central America. These Indians, or Native Americans, have developed very high civilizations, and they have recorded in the code, or in Spanish it's called codijos, and they stride in Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. What is this particular Indian civilization?
Garu.
The Mayas.
Mayans.
The Maya civilization we would have taken as well. It encompassed all of the Yucatan Peninsula in present-day Mexico and parts of Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. And an interesting thing is that instead of 10 digits like we have today, this people used a base of 20 in its vigesimal system. And so, and it also, like, you know, instead of a basic unit of 10, they went with a basic unit of 20. And they used bars and dots as shorthand for counting.
Wow.
It would have confused me so much to live in this culture. It's hard enough with tens for me.
I'm bad enough at math.
And Garu, you get to choose.
Blood test for 30.
Blood test, 30 points.
Sometimes referred to as the river of life, the blood provides important nourishment to all body organs and tissues and carries away waste materials. Thrombosis and embolism are common causes of strokes, the interruption of the blood supply to this organ.
Garu.
The brain.
Yes. Once the oxygen supply to your brain is stopped for 30 seconds or more, your cells in your brain do become damaged. And death may occur within just 10 minutes. Wow. So it's very scary. And Garu, you get to choose.
Okay, Latin culture for 30, please.
Latin culture, 30 points.
Latin America has given to the world many useful staples. They have given us chile, tomato, squash, and the beans. Now there's another very important staple.
Southern.
Maize?
And Garu, it is your chance to answer. He will finish the question.
It's produced by Incas in the Andean region, and they have produced into 240 different varieties. For your reference, when the Irish were hit by famine in
Garu.
Potatoes.
Yes. Another starchy vegetable besides maize or corn is the potato, and the potato was what we were going for. And it is an important source of starch for the manufacture of adhesives and alcohol. And Garu, which would you like to have?
Okay, how about Latin culture for 20?
Latin culture, 20 points.
What is the largest, most populous country in Latin America? The 5th most populous country in the world. This country has Amazon, the jungles. It has the biggest river in the world, and it is also very famous by forming, along with India and China, a group of countries potential to become superpower known as the BRICS. Recently, this country has taken a countermeasure against the United States when their tourists entering U.S. were required to take picture and the fingerprints. They have retaliated. They asked the same thing for the Americans coming into their country to take fingerprints and take pictures. What is this country?
Garu.
Brazil.
Area ranked #1 in South America, and the country is actually included as the only South American country in BRICS, the only country to have developed after its days of becoming a Portuguese colony, it is known as. And Garu, we have 3 on the board. What would you like to have?
Oh, let's go blood test for 20.
Blood test, 20 points.
About 200 different blood group substances have been identified and placed within 19 known blood group systems. The most commonly encountered blood group system is the A-B-O or Landsteiner system. Individuals may contain the A, B, or both A and B antigenic substances, or else lack these substances. In the A-B-O system, type AB is considered the universal recipient, And this type is
Southern.
Oh.
And there are some studies or people who believe in Asia especially that depending on your blood type, you actually have a personality that goes along with that. Have you encountered this? Yeah, in Korea and Japan, people do ask what your blood type is.
They're always stymied because I never know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know, yeah.
I think I would say it's the top 3 questions that I've been asked in Korea.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Age, if I'm married or single, and then blood type. Those 3 like kind of go hand in hand. I don't know why.
And now, Southern, it's good to see you on the board. You get to choose.
We'll go with blood test for 10.
Blood test, 10 points.
Some species of fish that live in the waters around Antarctica are specially adapted to life in near freezing waters. They have extremely low levels of hemoglobin in their blood, so low that their blood isn't even red. And they produce this in their blood, which acts as a type of antifreeze, enabling them to survive. This is a complex natural substance that has a globular or fibrous structure composed of amino acids. What is this?
Composed of amino acids. And remember, we're going backwards. This is a very easy question. Think, it's just off the bat. What do you think of? Composed of amino acids? Southern.
DNA?
Garu, 5 seconds.
I was thinking. Oh, no.
To make things very easy, this, let's say.
Protein?
Garu.
Protein?
Yes. And we're down to our last question on the board, Latin culture for 10 points.
Last question ever. Okay, sorry.
When we talk about Piazzolla, Carlos Gardel, you should know. This is a very melancholic music, but this is very representative of the country in Argentina.
Garu.
The tango.
It is a modern ballroom dance and music of Argentinian origin. And Garu, congratulations, you win 7 times in a row.
Various prizes are awaiting our winning contenders. Your first win will take you on a trip to Jeju Island. Your second win to Japan. Your third win will take you to China. And on your fourth win, you'll win a trip to Southeast Asia. On your fifth win, a trip to Hawaii. Your sixth win, a trip to the United States. And on your seventh win, you'll take the grand prize of a tour of Europe. We hope many of you join us.
Well, I know you must be very, very thrilled to have won 7 times in a row. You're headed off to Europe. How do you feel?
It's unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, I feel still really nervous, but I imagine an hour from now I'll be bouncing off the walls.
And now, Southern team, you're going to be married soon. And what do you want to say to all of your supporters who are watching?
I just want to say thank you, Kids College Apyjunk, for letting me come, and hello to all my students. Hello, Diane and Wendy.
I just want to say thanks for marrying me.
Oh, thank you for joining us today.
We need to thank our school too.
Yeah,
okay.
Sungmin Foreign Language School, they've been really great about letting us come in 7 times.
Just incredible to us.
Our director, Mr. Lee, who came in and drove us every time, so that was really awesome. Thank you, Mr. Lee. And our parents and family back home.
And now, you are already married.
Yes.
And since they're going to get married, do you have any advice? Please. Just one word of advice.
Just relax and nod and smile every time someone tells you to do something. You say, yes, I'll do that. Yeah.
Did you do it?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm sure.
Do your own thing.
Now you've let out the secret on international airwaves. Oh
Right.
no. Well,
Edit that.
thank you very much, all of you, for making this such fun for all of us.
Definitely.
And Garu, once again, congratulations on your 7 wins in a row.
Thanks.
Has won its 7th game. We'll see what happens next week. Join us again then. Have a great week. Bye-bye.